says it's cold outside. She hand me a raincoat. Hi, it's Danny here. I've got my trusty Maton. I've got my little red pick. Let's get looping. Today I want to talk about adapting your typical bog standard pub cover that we all play to death for the loop pedal. I want to talk about how we have to play very differently when we loop things. So for today's lesson, I want to use the song 3 AM by Matchbox 20, which I'm sure you've all done to death. It's a great song for the solo guitarist / vocalist because it really lends itself to sounding big and full on the acoustic guitar. It's got that big strummy, jangly, open string, G to C thing going on. Sounds great, but if I were to loop that you just heard, it'd just be clutter. It'd be monotonous. It's already nice and full, so it's a very different approach when we use a loop pedal. So what we need to do is break it back down to which of the instruments on the original recording we can emulate or come up with new parts of our own that we want to add to the song, and spread those out so that we can switch them on and off across the tracks in the loop pedal. So the focus for today is the two things that I want to focus on are big and strummy versus the sparse and clean approach, and also coming up with ways to get different sounds out of the guitar. So let's start building track one, and I'm going to start with the bass part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some guitar. And there we have the basics. You can use that for your verse of the song. So you'll notice I played it quite clean. I didn't sustain those bass notes, which might sound a little bit weird the first time, but once we bring in other parts and fill up those spaces around it, it'll make sense. Okay, let's put some things on track 2. So you might notice on track 2, those parts they're almost just like filler. They're like a keyboard pad might be. So when I try and create something like this, or think about how I'm going to recreate it live, is I'll look back at the original recording to refresh myself about what instruments are there that I'm not playing, and I sketch it out. So just like rough notation to help me remember what part's what, and then I'll note down what I think should go together on each track. And what I'm doing in this case, which I do quite often, I'll put down the basis of the song on track 1, my intro or verse, and then on track 2, I'll put in that filler that I see as harmonically ambiguous. So those parts should really just fit through the whole song. So I can actually leave that track playing for the whole song, and I can just play over that, which is why I put some little backbeat on that track too. So it's like, so I can go. She says cold outside, she hand me a raincoat. And I can do the only sleep when it's raining. She screamed, and her voice is strange, and she said, baby, it's 3 AM, I must be lonely. You see what I mean? Like that fits nicely with all of that stuff. But again, you don't want it to be monotonous, so you can bring it in and out, but just saying. Okay, now on track 3, I'm going to put down the chorus parts of the song. So I'll keep that track 2 going, so I've got a beat to stay in time with, and we'll put in some of the chorus parts. Okay, track 3. So now we can play with those any way we want. You could start the song off solo guitar and vocals, no loops, and then gradually bring them in. I kind of like having that second one on, like if you, what's the first words? She says it's cold outside. She says it's cold outside. She hand me a raincoat. She's always worried about things like that. She says it's all gonna end, it might as well be my fault. Only sleeps when it's raining, and a dream, and her voice is strange. And she said, baby, it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely. And she said, baby, I can't help but be scared of it all sometime. Rain gonna wash away, I believe it. Anyway, you get the idea. So what I might do at that point is bring in some more parts. I'll show you what I mean. Another thing I might do is on that track 2, just put one of those phrases there. I really like that little phrase in there. Then that can ring out in the chorus as well. She says it's cold outside. She hand me a raincoat. Only sleep when it's raining in the stream, and her voice is strange. And she said, baby, it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely. There's that phrase. So there you go. That's how you do it.